Hey everybody, welcome to the Drive-Thru Review 365. And today we're going to talk about North Wind. This is a new game from Z-Man Games by the designer of Settlers Catan, Klaus Teuber. Now it is a 2 to 4 player game. Let's see the time, it's 60 minutes, that's about right. And in the game, as you can maybe see, which I'll show you more up close, you have these cool boats, and these are basically your player board. You're going to be managing these ships and exploring these different locations and different islands, buying and selling goods, fighting pirates, all kinds of cool stuff like that, and outfitting your boat with different crew, which will give you different special abilities. But it's very much a light game, very much a family game for sure. So let's take a quick look at it and I'll tell you what I think of it. Okay, so here we can see all of the components. Of course, we've got our cool boats here, but I just want to make a quick mention of the game comes with a nice insert. You can fit these boats back pretty much assembled back into the box. You can see I've got a tray over there where I got a little bit of money in. That does come out. You pretty much just have to take off your mast and sail here, and there's a little slot for all the masts and sails and the insert, and then you can stack the boats. So it works pretty well. Now before we take a look at the cool boats, let's take a look at this scoreboard here. Now this is how players are going to win the game, is by getting the cubes of their color out onto this board, and you're going to do that by making these different deliveries here. Now you can see each of these different locations here. We've got North Cape, Fort Haven, Osland. They want a different kind of style of thing. So here you might deliver wine or money, and they have to be delivered in this order. So even if yellow's got $3 that it wants to go make a delivery to, until this one is filled in either by yellow or somebody else, and somebody has delivered one wine, then the $3 delivery isn't allowed. So you're going to fill these in order, and then whoever has currently the most deliveries, so let's say white comes in here and delivers again, then they're going to be able to mark this location here because they have the most deliveries to North Cape. Now once you have deliveries in each of the 3 columns, so let's see white and yellow are both in here, let's say yellow got another delivery there, then of course they would mark Osland, since they have the most, they've got the only delivery in there, and then they could go ahead and mark this area here because they have a delivery in all 3 locations. Now this final spot here is once you have outfitted your ship with all 4 crew members. You can see these little people here, you get 4 of these, and once you put them on your ship and you've got all 4 loaded onto your ship, then you can mark this. So again, the game, you play it until somebody has spent all the cubes allotted to them, and then they're the winner. So let's take a closer look at the boats. So let's say I'm the red player here. Here's my boat. You can see I've got my sail currently set to 4. You can take actions to increase your sail, and this is basically the amount that you can explore. You're going to be exploring these different stacks based on which island you're trying to sort of do business with, and this is the amount of tiles you can pull up on your turn. Now each player is also going to have these little workers, and these are going to go in these slots here. So you can see, you know, maybe I'll put him there. This will give me a special ability to actually get some extra money at the start of my turn. I may stick one up here in the crow's nest. This will help me when I'm doing the exploration there. And so you've got 5 total spots. You've got 4 here at the back of the boat, and then 1 here at the top of the boat. And then again, once you have marked 4 of these, whoops, he's dead, and then you are going to get, again, that final spot here to get that last cube onto the board. Now players will also start, you can see here, with 5 money. You can use that to buy and sell goods. Now goods are going to go here in your hold. So you've got different types of goods. You've got, say, these white goods here. You have wine there, and these kind of fit in nicely. So you've got 6 spots for these different style of goods there. Now in the front here you have the brig, and you can see here these dark blue guys here. These are pirates, and you may do battle with pirates, and you've got 2 spots to hold them as you go along and do battle. Now if you ever are full on pirates, then the next time you kill a pirate or capture a pirate, you collect a gold instead of putting a pirate in the brig itself. Now you can actually dump goods overboard, so if you were full and you're like, oh, I really need another white good for delivery, you could dump something and then, you know, put that good in there, just dump it overboard. Now the other thing that you can do is you can see these little slots here, maybe you can't, you have these cannons. You've got 4 slots for these different cannons. So we're going to go ahead and equip that. So you can do different actions in the game, which I'll explain in a minute, to equip cannons, and this is going to let you roll more often as you fight the different pirates. The last thing you get is you get one of these letters here. Now you can only ever have 2 at one time, and these are cool because they allow you to take actions on another player's turn. Now, as I said, there's 3 outposts or islands that you're going to be doing business with, and to start the game, you're going to shuffle up 3 stacks of 7 tiles, and these are going to be completely random. You're going to shuffle these up, and then you're going to put them in a stack, and then you're going to take the corresponding island tile, in this case North Cape. We're going to take that one here. You can see there's North Cape, and then we're going to shuffle him into this stack here like so. And then we're going to take the Fort Haven tile here, we're going to shuffle him into there, and then we're going to do finally the Osland tile and put that in there. So now the board has been seated. The setup is random to change, but once you're locked in, you're going to learn throughout the game what's in each stack. Now when it comes to your turn, you're going to choose one of the stacks to explore. Now the first thing that you can do is you can always take X amount off the top. Let's say I'll take these and I'll put these on the bottom and then I'll put them up. Or you can take none, or if I wanted to explore that, I could take 1 off. And it's just kind of a push your luck thing because you're going to shuffle each stack anyway at the end of your turn. It's almost a useless mechanic in a lot of ways, but it's kind of a little mind game thing that you can play with yourself. So what are you going to do? So you're going to pick an island, and then you're going to explore basically the ocean around that particular location. And then, as I said before, you're going to take a look at your mast here, and this is the number of tiles that you can draw before your turn has to be over. So as you increase your mast, and I'll explain how you do that, you're going to draw 4, 5, and then 6 tiles. Well, there's only ever 8 in here. There's 7 plus the island tile itself. So as you get to the game, you're going to be able to sort of guarantee that you're going to get to the tile that you want. Not 100%, but most of the time. So you're simply going to start flipping tiles. So let's take a look here. So we're going to flip a tile, and this is the first tile, and this is the first type of tile here. You can see this is an A, which means this is an action. So you can do this action. Well, this action is very simple. You can buy or sell 2 of these yellow goods for $3 a piece. So I could buy 2 of these for 6, or I could sell 2 of them for 6, or buy 1 or sell 1 for 3. The next type of action or tile that you can do are these event tiles. And here you may discover treasure, not likely, interact with a pirate, a lot more than likely. And so you have basically action and event tiles that you're going to encounter. And then finally, you're going to have possibly these action tiles, but these again correspond to whatever location. And here, when you encounter this, you can perform one of these trade actions and give it the required delivery. In this case, we're in North Cape. The next required delivery is going to be 1 gold and 1 wine. So if we have a gold on our person as well as a wine in our hold, then we'll be able to make that trade in there, and of course mark that cube and get rid of one of our cubes. Now, given that our current mass is at 4, we could draw a 4th tile, but if we've actually executed 2 action tiles, then we're going to be done. Now, we don't have to execute this. If we had drawn this, and let's say we didn't have any money or yellow goods, we could skip that, we'll pass that, and go on to the next one, and then go on to the third one. However, if we had executed that action, and then executed our second action in this case, then we can't draw any more tiles. But let's say we hadn't, we'd passed this, we encountered the event, which I'll explain, and we did a third action, and then we'll go to our 4th tile, and then we'll get our event. And now in this case, since our mast is at 4, that will be our last tile that we can draw. And then you're going to go ahead and shuffle all of those tiles back into here and set it up for the next player. Now, there's a couple other things to note. Now you can see this A here is underlined where this one is not. Now if I choose to execute this action here, anybody that has one of these letters can spend the letter and then also basically use that tile if it was their turn. So if I went ahead and bought yellow for 3 gold, and then maybe Sparky over there, he would turn in the letter, says, you know what, I've got some yellow, I actually bought it for cheaper, I'm going to sell them for 3 gold and make a little bit of money there. But again, the A has to be underlined, and the current player has to actually execute that, which is a very interesting decision sometimes. Now we've taken a look at 2 example action tiles. Let's look at some more. So this one is another one, very simple. You can get the white good instead of the yellow good. Well, that's not very interesting, but you can see you get this one for $3 or sell it for $3, or this one could be in the same stack, it could be in another stack. You can get the same good twice, just like this one, except you can get it for $1. So that's interesting. Now we can get this action here, and these are special because these are the equipment harbor actions. So you can see we can actually raise our sail for the cost of $2, or we can employ one of our crew members onto the boat. So let's talk about that. Now, the first thing we're going to see is we've got the bird's eye here, the bird's nest, and we can put a worker there. This allows us to actually take a look at the top tile of whatever stack we're about to go in. Before we start our turn, we can take a quick peek at it, and we can say, okay, we'll just put it right back on top or stick it under the bottom. So this is very helpful. And remember, once you get your mast here up to 6, because remember, now you can spend $2 to get your mast to 6. So that's 7 out of 8 tiles you can look at once you get your mast up and your crow's nest maxed out. Then you're basically going through the whole stack. And the next thing here is you can see this is a +1. So if I put this here, if I ever sell a good, then I can get an additional $1. That can be very handy. This one allows you to take $2 at the start of your turn, because if you ever start your turn with 0 money, you take $1. But if you have this guy marked off there, then you're going to take $2 instead of $1, which can be useful. Now this one here allows us in battling pirates, which I'll talk about when we go over the events, but there's this little combat die that you're going to roll here. Now most of these have either a blank side or 1 pip. Now there is a side here with 2 pips, but this side is feasibly blank unless you have a worker in that particular spot. It's a useless side. But once you get the worker in there, then it's going to be very useful. And then next here, we can make double use of the merchant tile, which I'll show you now. It's going to show you, you can only use it once, but this is going to allow us to actually use it twice. And this lets you get any good one time for $3, and of course there are others here that let you get any good one time for $2. So there's going to be varying amounts and better ones or worse ones. And finally, let's of course talk about the events and how those work. Now what happens when we encounter an event tile? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to roll this die here, and you can see here are various numbers of pirates that you're going to have to encounter. However, there's one side here that allows you to basically find a little buried treasure, and this simply means to take $1 from the bank and thank God that you didn't run into any pirates. Now let's say you went and you rolled the 2 pirates there. Now you have the opportunity here to actually pay $1 and basically bribe the pirate away and then continue your turn, no problem. However, if you choose to do battle with it, then you can roll this die the number of times equal to, let's take a look here, you can see I've got 2 cannons there, so I can roll that die twice. And I need this number of hits to continue on. So let's say bad luck, I roll 2 blanks, my turn's over. That's it. So when you interact with the pirates, especially early on, as you may not have that many cannons to deal with, you're going to rue the day that you ran into that event tile causing the pirates to come. But as you build up and you roll more dice, and again you can get the little double shot there, then if you interact and kill or capture the pirates, basically rolling enough hits to match the number of pirates that you're dealing with, then you can go ahead, if you succeed and are victorious, and capture one of these pirate captains there. And as I said, you have spot for 2. If you ever capture another one, you just take $1 from the bank instead. And of course you can see this Fort Haven in the middle wants pirates as delivery. So as you go on in the early game, you don't really want to run into pirates because you don't have a lot of guns, but then as time goes on, you want to run into pirates because you want to blast them and capture them and then start delivering them here to Fort Haven. Okay, so what do I think of the game? Well, I quite like it. As I said at the beginning, it's very much a family game. There's not a ton of strategy really in the game, but it's not without strategy and some decision making. So some interesting things that are going to happen. Like I mentioned, at the beginning you don't really want to run into the pirates because it kind of ruin your day, but then after a while you start wanting to see the pirates so you can hunt them down and send them to jail and whatnot. The other interesting part is you're going to learn what's in each stack. So this stack might have the thing where I can buy the green goods for $1, and the other stack might have one where I can buy or sell them for $3. So again, some of the deliveries just want straight money, and it's good to have money to pay off pirates sometimes, just because you might roll a 3, you only got 1 cannon. It's also good to have some extra money around and also an extra letter to do actions on another player's turn. And one thing I forgot to mention was, if you do your whole turn, you've drawn through your tiles or draw as many tiles as you felt like doing, and you do less than 2 actions, remember you have a maximum of 2 actions. If you do 1 or even 0 actions, you're going to collect a letter from the supply. Again, you can only have 2 maximum letters. Well, the cool thing about those letters is if you can optimize and use those letters effectively, you're going to do better than the other players, because you're going to be able to do more stuff on other people's turns and not just on your own turn, and not just be so reliant on drawing the tiles luckily yourself. Now there's not a whole lot of luck. Now the other interesting thing about that is because you can only use the letters if they actually use those tiles. So there's a little bit of sort of chicken or brinkmanship with like what delivery is going to be made, because you're like, okay, well, we're both going for the delivery, and if he gets the good, then if I have the good and I'm able to use it because I got it on his turn and I go to my turn, I'm going to be able to be the one to actually do the delivery. So think about that for a minute. That's actually kind of interesting. And again, you get in, as you kind of explore the game, you get in this kind of strange, like, I don't know, sort of sense of like where to go. And sort of, you can kind of plan a few turns ahead, because like, okay, if I go here, I've got this green. I know if I go here, I can sell it because this is the spot that buys a lot. And there seems to be more event tiles there, so I can get some more pirates. Then I'll have money to deliver this, money and the pirates, and I'll have, this good left over, or whatever kind of combo you're trying to work out. So it's pretty cool. So I really like the whole letter aspect of doing stuff on other people's turns, trying to keep your money up. And of course you want to get guns in right away, because you're going to be dealing with pirates, and you want the pirates to be a happy opportunity, because it's kind of like a free action. Like, oh cool, pirates, yay, you guys are going down because I get to roll 4 times. And so that adds more stuff or gives me more gold. Oh, and you also of course want to upgrade, the different worker abilities, and that the crow's nest is vital, because then you can really just get rid of that tile that this is worthless to you, or throw again the event tile at the bottom, because you don't want to deal with pirates, because you're limited to of course drawing as many tiles as you have to sale. So it's got some like kind of engine building. You can upgrade your ship, and it's awesome pieces. Of course, these different boats are just really cool. It's better than having like little tracks or something, and these really honestly kind of make the game. And then the game itself is very simple, but it's not without interesting mechanics, I don't think. So I would definitely take a look at it. It's not something I would get super gamers into at all. I've just played this with the family, haven't brought it to my gamer group. I may try, but it's not one that's really going to resist a lot of hyper analysis. I really wouldn't want to play it that way. You get a general sense of how things are working, like, okay, like I said, this good's over here, this good's over here, there's a lot of events here. So you kind of plan out a basic gist, so it does keep you engaged and involved. But if you're going to sit there and number crunch, then once you go play something else. But this is definitely cool pieces, awesome components, nice feeling of exploration, really thematic in a lot of ways actually. And I really like the use of the letters and acting on other people's turns. It's a nice, smart little addition, I think, to the game. They keep you engaged on other people's turns, and then add a little bit of sort of negotiation and smack talk. A little bit, hey, don't you want to use that? Don't you need to upgrade your mast? It's because you want to add a gun, because those are on the same tile. So anyway, definitely take a look at it. Thanks.